There's a very special time of year at the JW Thoughts channel, and that is the memorial. See, this is when I let the Pandora's box of intrusive thoughts that go on inside my head on the loose. They rise like a phoenix from the ashes, and I film myself doing some wacky stuff. And down through the years, I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of laughs.
Hi, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and you got a letter, and I'm going to give you the ID for the Zoom for Saturday at 7:30 p.m. We look forward to having you at that meeting. Feel free to join us, and we thank you very much for the call. Bye.
Well, it looks like I'm going to be going to my first memorial in over 5 years, but I think we'll have to do it JW Thought style, shall we?
On the anniversary of his death, people around the world will gather to remember him. Jehovah's Witnesses invite you and your family to attend the memorial of Jesus' death. At that meeting, you will find out why his sacrifice was so important and how his promises affect you.
One of the big things that I do get asked when it comes to people just asking some questions that they have about Jehovah's Witnesses is when it comes to this 144,000. I would say the most common question people ask that have never been a Jehovah's Witness is, how do they know they're part of the 144,000 special people that get to live in heaven? And it's kind of vague, but what is exciting is that Watchtower is actually going to be addressing this. So they have a video that they're going to be playing in Kingdom Halls pretty soon, and I managed to get my hands on it. So take a look at how Watchtower is portraying how someone actually gets anointed with Holy Spirit and knows they're part of the 144,000.
Jehovah, my Heavenly Father, I implore you to hear my prayer. I have been asking, no, begging to find a sign. I feel it deep within my heart that I have the calling of an anointed one. I'm doing everything you ask, reading my Bible constantly when I wake up, I go to bed. Everything that you have asked, I try and do, Father. Please just give me a sign. Show me that I am worthy to join you in heaven. Your word is near and dear to my heart. It consumes me. When I'm eating, when I'm walking down the street, when I'm shaving my cool new elder's beard. Thank you for that one, by the way. I've always wanted to know what it would be like to have facial hair. Even when I'm going to the bathroom, I am constantly thinking, I beg of you, please give me a sign.
Meanwhile,
I'm kind of hungry. Hey, Gabriel. Why don't you be a good angel and whip up Yahweh a little bit of grub here? All right, let's see what in tarnation is this foo organic beet juice and bread? What does this even taste good? Oh God, yeah. I asked for lunch for a god, not for some goddamn peasant. Ugh, that's terrible. That crap out of here is just plain old oat bread. Yeah, get that out of here.
I guess that answers my prayer. Cool, I guess I get to go to heaven. Thanks, God.
I don't got time for that. I asked for lunch. Now get me some goddamn lunch. Yeah, hell yeah, now that's more like it. Good job. I guess I'll keep you around a little longer. This is the kind of lunch that God likes.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know what Watchtower is saying going forward, you will receive signs from heaven. And this year is completely different because it is 6 o'clock, the day before the memorial, and I completely forgot that the memorial was tomorrow. Actually didn't remember it at all. And yeah, let's talk about it. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, the memorial that Jehovah's Witnesses do, it's their little quasi-Easter celebration where they just remember the death of Jesus on the torture stake. This is the most important meeting of the entire year for Jehovah's Witness. This is something that cannot be missed under any circumstance. Even if someone hasn't been to a Kingdom Hall or shown up to a meeting for any reason, they'll oftentimes show up to the memorial, and you'll see this expressed in their numbers. They'll have 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses around the world, and you'll have 24 million people that attend the memorial. So a lot of people that have left the organization, they will show up just to appease their family members. If you leave when you're a young teenager, but your parents don't completely shun you, they might call or text and be like, hey, don't forget the memorials this year. And just out of sense of duty, not wanting to rock the boat, a lot of people will just show up. It's only an hour or two once a year. Not the worst trade for having some type of contact with your family. Hey, at least in my personal opinion. So that's just like what the memorial is. This is a very big event. No Jehovah's Witness misses it, and even people on the fringes or outside of the organization will show up to it. But the big question, why did I forget it? Well, I don't often think about Jehovah's Witness things unless I'm sitting here talking to this little cannon in the corner of the room here. It's not something that circulates in my brain 24/7. I make a little video, I edit the video, and that's it. There are a billion other things that I find fascinating about this world that I would rather think about. And that's precisely what I do. And the reason I always remember the memorial is pretty simple. I get an invitation. Every year since I've left, Jehovah's Witnesses, one way or another, have gotten an invitation into my hand. They have found a way to remind me that the memorial is right around the corner. And because of that, when I get that invitation, whether it's in the mail or someone knocks on the door, it always spurs me to like, oh yeah, the memorial. I need to make a video about that. But this year, it didn't happen. And I would hazard a guess. This is just a complete guess on my part. But I would be willing to bet not a significant amount of money, but a decent amount of money that I'm not the only one here. People that have historically, traditionally gotten invitations to this memorial. I think a lot of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses around the world, maybe they haven't gotten one this year for a very specific reason. The preaching work is dead. Now, comment down below if you are someone that usually gets an invitation and didn't this year. I'm just curious. I know that won't be like a definitive Pew Institute research project here, but I'm just curious like what the general vibe in ex-Jehovah's Witness YouTube land is. Did you or did you not receive an invitation? And even when I moved into a completely new area, I still had an invitation sitting in my door. And this year, nothing. So I genuinely believe that their preaching work is just gone. I think it's donezo. And no matter how many times they try and reinvigorate it, get Jehovah's Witnesses excited to go out there, Jesus style, banging on doors, I don't see the utility of it. There has been too much time that has passed where there is no measurable success with the preaching work. It's been so long since they had any meaningful growth that was a direct result of them trying to do recruiting, that you have to be exquisitely delusional to think that it means anything. It is completely performative. And the governing body, I think, realize this. They have all of the data that they track on these things. They would know better than anyone else. And if you were running that organization, which for a long time was very data-driven, I think you would have come to this realization and realize that the preaching work is just a box-ticking exercise in 2020. No one's really coming into the congregation because of it, but it's something to keep people busy. Doing Jehovah's Witness things, it keeps them on the hamster wheel, and that keeps them mentally focused on anything other than what's outside in the world. They just got to focus in on Jehovah's Witness land and create that little mental box. And as evidence of that, they've literally made the preaching work a box-ticking exercise. Instead of calculating in great detail, okay, every week, here's how many magazines and return visits and Bible studies, and then this week, and they've made it like, did you go preaching? Yep. You guys ever do that when you have like a dryer sheet stuck in your joggers, and then you're like, what is that itching my leg? Anyway, there was a dryer sheet. It was like a magic trick. Anyway, Bozo the Clown routine done. It was really disorienting. Sorry, this is a podcast style Wally, so this is just me yapping, so not a lot of editing here. But anyway, they've made this thing that was so important to their growth, to their identity. They are Jehovah's Witnesses. It is at their core understanding of what it means to live that life. And they've turned that into a box tick. Did you preach? Sure. And now what they call preaching is you're at the store buying an avocado and you look at the person next to you like, man, these avocados are expensive. And the person's like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? Love me some guacamole and need those healthy fats. So 2 for $5, I guess we'll thrive. And they're like, wouldn't you like to live in a world where you get delivered avocados daily on the back of a baby tiger that's your pet? The person looks at you like, well, I just ran into a real nutter. How am I going to get myself out of this situation? And they hand them a little card that says, you should go to jw.org. You might be able to learn more about that. And they pat themselves on the back, high-fiving each other, thinking that they've really accomplished something. Wow, this new age of preaching. It just is, it's really dumb. Or you go stand next to a cart. Their carts don't do nothing. Their cart, standing next to a cart is the most ineffective thing I can possibly imagine. I did it for a year, 8-hour shifts once a week, and no one talked to us. We just stood there and were shooting the shit with whoever you were with. So you just prayed that you were with someone that was good at maintaining some level of intelligent conversation. If not, I guess you just start counting sheep in your head. But I don't think that their preaching work has any meaningful significance. And I think it really speaks to that generational issue with the organization that's happening right now. Because you have this, I've talked about this in a lot of other videos and stuff, but you have this situation where people from my generation were standing there and looking at their family and their place in the world and their organization and their future, right? And you see your grandparents who have gone from cradle to grave, waiting for the end to come. That's a profound, visceral connection that you have. You haven't just heard about or read about, but you are personally connected to someone that has told you their life story and that you've grown up with, that's described to you how they thought that they would never get married. They thought they would never complete high school. They never thought they would collect a Social Security check. And your parents are now going from cradle to grave, saying the exact same thing. I never thought I would do high school. I never thought I'd get married. I never thought I'd have kids. And now you are 20 years old or so, and you're looking at this. It's like, imagine you're in a big line of people, and there's like 2 queues, and there's 2 doors, and one says life, and one says death. And you're standing in the life line, right? And you're watching people just walk through the one that says death. And they're just walking through. Nothing bad is happening, right? Now your grandparent is there, 2 people in front of you, and they walk through the door and lasers come out and their clothes just like Looney Tunes style. You just get a little mushroom cloud, vaporized. Nothing left but their little burning shoes. Like, damn, I guess that life door kind of sucked. Your mom or dad turns around and says, but this time, I know I'll make it through the life door. And they walk through it and get vaporized, and their burning chucks are sitting there right next to your grandparents' Tim's. And you're like, okay, do I want to walk through this door as well? Everyone over here that's walking through the death door, that I've been told my whole life, if I walk through that door, I will be gone. I'll be dead forever. They all seem fine. They're chilling. They're having a barbecue over on the death side. Nothing bad's happening to them. And yet every single person that's walked through this life door has died. There's a certain mental realization I personally feel that happens with every Jehovah's Witness that's around, my age, that has witnessed this generational problem. And I can't imagine a situation where you just wake up and think to yourself, yeah, I want to walk through that door too, especially if you have kids, man, and your little kid sitting there like, hey, I know, Alex, but guess what? This is just what we do. And you go and you're going to get vaporized. You're going to waste your whole life because you've seen it happen with multiple generations in your family. What's the point? You have to really step back and think to yourself, is this really what I want to do with my life? And for a lot of people, it's pretty clear. It's not. Even if they still kind of sort of believe it, even if they, identify as a Jehovah's Witness. That level of enthusiasm, like maybe we'll just step off to the side and let a few more people go through the door. Maybe we don't have to go through right now and make that ultimate choice. Maybe I can just try and live my life and survive in this economy and just try and see, like, what is life like not doing 24/7 Jehovah's Witness activities? And I think that's why ultimately they've seen such a drastic decline in the preaching. You've seen generations of people waste their whole life. You have not seen any growth as a direct result of preaching. So what's the point? I think that's why I didn't get an invitation this year. So I'm curious what you guys, or anyone out there that maybe usually gets one, if you guys got one as well, comment, let me know. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about this year's memorial. There's a quick little rant just as I was sitting here thinking, oh wait, completely forgot about that. Anyway, with all that, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to spend more time loving the things you love than hating the things you hate. And you better go out and have a good ass day.